How old is too old to be rocking Hello Kitty and watching cartoons? Who knows? Welcome to the Last Show podcast, because this may be it.
Talk to me.
Hello, and welcome to the Last Show podcast. This is Courtney Shane Williams, your host and MC. I don't know, it's not a comedy club, I'm not the MC. Thanks for listening to the podcast. A little house cleaning. First, if you subscribe to the podcast via iTunes, this should not apply to you. However, the podcast has moved from Podbean because they was trying to make me spend money. And I ain't about that spending money life when I already got $100 a year wrapped up in web hosting. So, I moved the feed off of Podbean, and you can now find it on comedicpros.com, which is my website. Go there. I posted a message today where to find the new feed, or you can just go to comedicpros.com/category/the last show/feed, which sounds ridiculous, so don't be a dope, just go to the website and subscribe that way like normal human beings do. Also in the comment section, if you've seen the last podcast I hosted, I put a link to the feed, so all you primates can just click on it. How old is too old to be rocking Hello Kitty? I really don't know. I guess if you're a girl, you can always make that pass of, I think this is cute. But in all honesty, really, Hello Kitty. How old? I think anything over the age of probably 12 is too old. Unless there's a nostalgia, then I'll give you to about 17 or 18. And then after that age, you can collect, but you just got to keep it at the house. Like, you can't just be out in the club, rocking Hello Kitty sneakers, in a scarf. Like, that's lame right there. Like, if you see a girl in the club, guys, and she's rocking, a Hello Kitty turtleneck, number one, you don't have to buy any drinks. Number one, you could just give her, some Jolly Ranchers and a tanning coupon, because she's easy to impress. You understand? And number two, don't spend the night. Don't spend the night, because you'll probably wake up in the morning and she'll have put some footies on you while you're sleeping, because weird girls do stuff like that. Like, she might move your stuff in out of your car, just on a one night stand. She might just go to your car and move your stuff in, and then now you got to pack your stuff up, when you just thought you weren't going to be there that long. But how old is too old? And this occurred to me the other day, because I seen in the mall they were still selling Hello Kitty, and I didn't know there was still a market, for a retail. Like, I knew there were probably like either a black market or somewhere on the internet where you could still buy it, but I didn't know, JCPenney's still had to make a section of their store dedicated to Hello Kitty customers. I didn't know it was popping like that. And I seen that, and I said, that's crazy. And it conspired, because this week, this guy was like, he was telling me that how much he loved the cartoons. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. You like cartoons? That's great. He was like, oh, don't you like cartoons? And he put me in that weird spot where they try to make you feel bad about it. I was like, nah, not really. I don't really dig the cartoon. He was like, oh man, I just love the cartoons. You don't like cartoons? It's like, no, I told him the first time I didn't like cartoons. Now he's forced me into it. Now I'm like, no, I don't like cartoons. I'm a real person kind of guy, like Michael Sam Father style. I'm a person kind of guy. The idea of cartoons, if they're there, I'll watch them. Like, I don't, see somebody dressed as SpongeBob and immediately try to sweep his leg like, Daniel, son. But I'm not DVRing cartoons, man. Like, if I woke up tomorrow and they said, hey, Courtney, no more cartoons, I'd be like, cool, because I'm not really sweating cartoons like that, And it just make me feel like maybe it's me. Maybe you're never too old, for a Hello Kitty vest and SpongeBob. Maybe you never, or maybe I'm right. Maybe cartoons and Hello Kitty just ain't that big of a deal. I'm not sure what the solution is, but I mean, I'm sure one day I'll become enlightened, and I'll be able to talk to the nostalgia of cartoons and Hello Kitty, and maybe they'll pull me over to the other side. Maybe I'll start DVRing in cartoons and reinvest in Pogs. I'll get me some Slammers and some Pogs and some cartoons, and then I'll start wearing iceberg sweaters again, and I'll just bring it all back. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Sports news. So LeBron James is starting to feel himself, which is great. Disclaimer: I am a Cavalier fan, but the whole thing, I'm pretty much over it now. Took me 4 years. I'm pretty much over the idea that they left Cleveland. And the bottom line is LeBron James is the baddest man on the planet. Kevin Durant having a better season, but LeBron's still the baddest man. It reminds me of my uncle Clarence. He plays pool. My Uncle Clarence plays pool, and I'm not a pool guy. I don't own a pool stick. I don't walk around like, one of those people with my stick and all that. I don't do that. But the skill of pool, it's one of those things that's so dope. And like whenever you go out and there's a pool table and you play and you stink, you're like, dang, I wish I'd have took them pool lessons. I could be killing it right now. It's like bowling. Like bowling and pool are like in the same category. Like no one ever thinks about bowling until you go to the bowling alley, and then next thing you know, you get 4 strikes in a row, and they're, oh man, how do you do it? And then you're guiding behind women, and you're getting all creepy while they're not looking. Yeah, you gotta move the ball like this, and it's like, oh man, hey, get your hands off my wife, like that. Hands off my daughter. She's only 7. Anyway, but my uncle, he plays pool, and it's like he used to tell me, or not used to, he told me one time. And he was talking to his son. So my uncle was talking to his son, and he's like, man, we gonna get you, and we gonna beat you in pool. And then his son left, and we were in the room, and I was like, Uncle Clarence, I was like, I had no idea you were that good at pool. He goes, yeah, I'm pretty good, man. I said, and then I was like, well, how often does your son beat you? He goes, he don't never beat me. He goes, sometimes though, I let him win. Because every once in a while, you got to let them win, or they'll just stop playing. That's where LeBron James is right now. Every once in a while, you got to let them win, or they'll just stop playing. That's where he is right now. Kevin Durant may win the MVP, and that's fine. But the bottom line is, LeBron could get it if he wanted it. But every once in a while, you got to let them win or they'll just stop playing. You understand? He's Alonzo in Training Day. I can't lose. Even when I lose, I can't lose. So LeBron is the best man on the planet. And lately, the interviews have been fantastic with him. It's like the filter's gone. I mean, he's feeling himself. He's claiming that he's the best defender in the league, claiming that he's going to be one of the 4 greatest to play ever. And I'm really excited to see the NBA TV interview with Steve Smith on Monday night. It should be great. And hopefully he reveals more. But he talks in the interview about, or they already played clips in the interview about him. And the first clip they played was, I think it was about him and some about Kevin Durant or whatever it was. And about him getting some kind of respect. Oh, no. He talked about D Wade. And how when they were first together and they were in the finals and they were down, he was like, man, kind of looking around, like this may have been the wrong decision. And then he talked about this last week. They leaked the clip of him talking about Mount Rushmore. And everybody loves a list. Like everybody loves a list because they want to criticize the list. That's why everybody likes a list. That's like why people watch award shows, not to see people win, but to complain about who wins and why their person didn't win. Because a majority of the time, if you nominate 5 people, somebody's pulling for each of those 5, which means 4 people at least are going to be pissed off. And then they can gather their herd of followers behind the 4. And that's why lists and award shows are popular, because people are angry, want to be angry in your face. So they have the Mount Rushmore, and they talk to LeBron about the Mount Rushmore and who's on there. So on his Mount Rushmore, he said it's Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Oscar Robertson, which is whatever. But then he adds in the caveat, and I'm going to be on there at the end. He goes, basically, I don't know who needs to be taken off. That ain't for me to decide. But, they better do something, like put a new space in there or whatever. And I love the comment for 2 reasons. Number 1 reason, he's telling you, I'm no longer in competition with my peers. I'm in competition with history. He pulling the Jay-Z on you. You understand? Like, this right here is the takeover, This right here is him saying, I'm not looking at you. I'm looking past you. Like, your arms is too short to box with gods. You understand? Like, this is the level LeBron is on right now. And he's laying a stake in the ground to Kevin Durant and everybody in the league, and he pulling his Alonzo, and he's saying, I can't lose because I'm not fighting y'all. I'm fighting something else. However, instead of just taking the comments for what they were and taking that from the comments and the fact that, in all honesty, he challenged Magic, Michael, Oscar, and Larry, because those were the 4 that were on the list, challenged all of them and said somebody coming off. And we automatically know Michael ain't coming off any list. So basically, Magic, Larry, and Oscar, he challenged them. That was a challenge. But then it got twisted into this weird thing because people like lists and they want to complain of who's the top 4 players. Like, who would be on your Mount Rushmore? Which is a very somewhat interesting question. Like, who would be on the Mount Rushmore of basketball? Now, the Mount Rushmore is very different than the best players. The Mount Rushmore, in the classic sense in America, it was, the presidents at the beginning. Like, Barack Obama may be one of the most memorable and the greatest presidents, or Bill Clinton, or whoever it is, but he ain't going to be on Mount Rushmore because it's already done. So let's just dismiss the idea of Mount Rushmore. Because if there's 4 people on my Mount Rushmore, of basketball, it's going to be Dr. James Naismith will be on there. Probably George Mikan will probably be on there. Probably maybe John Wooden, and then maybe like the entire ABA. Just the entire ABA, the Globetrotters, couple people. But no, on the serious note, my Mount Rushmore will be some combination of Dr. James Naismith, and probably George Mikan, probably Bill Russell, and Red Auerbach. That'd probably be my Mount Rushmore, because that's would be the founding fathers. Like, if you've seen those 4 people and you looked at and researched it, you would know the whole game of basketball from those 4 people. Things have changed and elevated it beyond that, but that is the Mount Rushmore of basketball. So let's just dismiss that, because LeBron didn't put together a Mount Rushmore. He put together a list of the 4 greatest players of all time. And to him is Jordan, Bird, Magic, and Oscar. The 4 greatest players in basketball, to me, which makes it the right list, is Jordan, just enough said, greatest ever. Number 2, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No one gives Kareem any love. You understand this? I don't know why it is. Maybe because people don't deem him as... Kareem was the baddest man in the game. Kareem won championships with like 3 straight, I believe, in college. Then he won 6 championships in the NBA and 6 MVPs. Nobody else is doing that right there. And he's the all-time leading scorer in the NBA at the center position. The center position. At that, I think towards the end of his career, they had a 3-point line, but even with maybe his whole career, but even so, he wasn't taking threes. This dude was just sky hooking dudes to the all-time leading scorer position, which is virtually impossible to catch. So you got 6 titles, you got 6 MVPs, you got and you got the record for the most points all time. So Kareem is on the list. Number 3 on my list. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But I'd probably go with Magic. I go Magic. He has all the accolades, changed the game, Showtime Lakers, faces of one of the greatest franchises, arguably maybe the greatest franchise in basketball. And he was the man. Number 4 on my list, Bill Russell. Gotta show love for Bill Russell. Never lost the game 7. And just, he was so great, he actually diminished how great Wilt Chamberlain was. Because every time they tangled up, Bill put that wood to him. You understand? So Bill Russell's on the top 4 greatest all time. And LeBron, if he continues his career the way he's going, what is he? 10. This is his 11th year in the NBA. In 11 years, he's gotten 2 titles, 4 MVPs in 11 years. 2 titles. 4 MVPs in 11 years. So if he plays another 5 to 6 years in his prime, let's split that in half. Let's say he gets 3 titles and 6 MVPs. If LeBron has 3 titles, 6 MVPs, he will be one of the top 4 players of all time. And I'll be the architect of this mountain, and I know who's coming off the list, and it's Magic Johnson. If LeBron finishes with 3 titles, 6 MVPs, that will put him in the rarefied air of all those other guys. And it would be LeBron, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That would be the Mount Rushmore. Feel free to send your hate mail directly to me, but that's the list. All-Star break is here. It's fantastic. It looks like it's going to be a good All-Star break. The events, hopefully, will go well, but I'm looking forward to the rookie-sophomore game, oddly enough. I'm really looking forward to that game because it's a lot of young dudes in here, and I just got a feeling that all those one-and-done guys that came in and ain't really getting that much burn, I got a feeling somebody might just try to go ham right quick, which means Dion Waiters may lose his mind. Like, Dion Waiters may dribble the entire game. Like, there's a chance that could happen. So, rookie All-Star game. Going into the All-Star break, interesting NBA season, but I actually put out a post today for the top 10 players up until the All-Star break. My top 10. I released a post. Check it out on comedicpros.com. I'll give you a little spoiler. Dwayne Wade didn't make the list because he doesn't actually play. Like, that's an issue. If you don't actually play, you can't make the list for whatever reason. I mean, so neither him nor Otto Porter Jr. made the top 10 list of the first half. But check it out. And that's the show. Make sure you check out the new way to subscribe. Go to comedicpros.com. I'll put up a post so you can just click on it and find out where the new feed is. If you're on iTunes, it should update. Hopefully this will be a seamless move. Other than that, have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll have a special guest on the next podcast, and we can do it from there. Thank y'all for listening. Check me out on Spotify, Pandora. If you're in Seattle, I got a show coming up, Comedy Underground, February 23rd. Love to have you out there. If you mention the podcast, I'll let you in half price. We'll do it like that. Just because I want to see the face of the people that are listening to me talk. Thank you for listening. Check out the YouTube page. I'll be putting up the video of the podcast there. And take it easy. Oh, yeah. I got t-shirts. I got t-shirts for sale on my website. Check out the website, CourtneyShaneWilliams.com. Got t-shirts for sale on there. If you want a t-shirt, I'll mail it to you. And we'll do it that way. Thank you for listening to the show. Take it easy. Peace.